Carol Balfe, for anybody who doesn't know, and I'm running for re-election to the Canajoharie Central School Board of Education. I'm the mother of three. Both of my daughters have graduated. My son is now a junior in the high school. I grew up in Palatine Bridge and graduated from the Canajoharie High School in the 80s. I never thought I was going to come back here when I left for college. I'm very glad that I did. It's been a great place to raise my family. I'm living in Ames, and I have a successful optometric practice in Canajoharie, and it's been wonderful. I've been a member of the board for 10 years. The last 3 I was serving as president. I've seen many changes in that time, including administrative changes multiple times. I was part of candidate searches for our superintendent and multiple principal positions. Through it all, I and the other board members have always kept our focus on the most important folks that we serve, and that is the students. If I am re-elected, I will continue to keep my focus on the students and helping them get the best education they can with the resources we have available. This means staying fiscally responsible and also giving teachers the tools they need to be successful in an ever-changing world of public education. I would like to continue my part in the vision of the Canajoharie Central School and giving all kids the tools they need to be successful in this community and in their future endeavors, wherever that may take them.
My name is Scott Ferguson. I've lived here in Canajoharie for 11 years. I am a professor of business and management. I have a doctorate of education. I have an MBA, a global MBA from Duke, and a bachelor's in industrial and labor relations from Cornell. I have had 5 children either graduate or are in Canajoharie School District. My daughter Caitlin, my son Seth, my son Nathan, my daughter Cassidy, and my son Andrew. Cassidy and Andrew are still in school. Cassidy is finishing her junior year, and Andrew is finishing his 8th grade year. I have 20 years experience in corporate America, mostly on the people side of business, organizational development, and those sorts of things involved in human resources. Including labor relations, compensation, and benefits. I have 20 years experience owning my own business. I have 25 years of management experience. I have served on corporate and nonprofit boards for 10 years, in addition to serving on the board of my own corporations. I've been elected president of 2 of the boards that I've served on by my peers on the board. I've participated in union negotiations. I've managed multi-million-dollar budgets. It would be my honor to serve on the board here and try to have our school district remain superior compared to other school districts. We searched for a year to decide where we were going to move to. We had a choice to decide where we settled, and we chose Canajoharie, and we did it because of the school district. That was our deciding factor. Then we bought property and searched for another year to find property in the school district that met our requirements. So we want to be here. We searched for a long time to be in this school district, and we want to preserve it. The second question, what do I see as the opportunities and challenges in the district? Some of the opportunities: preserve the superiority of our school district. Second, better prepare our students with life skills such as budgeting, financial responsibility, knowing how to manage credit, problem-solving skills, communication skills, things of those nature. Third, ensuring our students are prepared to be successful in the next step that they take after high school, whatever that might be. Some of the challenges I see: lowering enrollment in our district, lowering social economic status in our district among our students, and third, managing our budget while maintaining the offerings that create a balanced graduate. What I mean by a balanced graduate are music, sports, arts, and various academic programs that meet all of our students' needs. The third question, what do I see as the outputs that matter most? Ultimately, the output or result that matters most to me is the success of our students. I think that this starts with creating a healthy culture for learning then focusing on student performance and having academic programs and activities enabling all students to be well-balanced graduates who have adequate life skills. All of this needs to be done with appropriate transparency, managing the budget appropriately. As a board member, I am ultimately accountable for the results of the board. My efforts, participation, and contributions need to help the board as a whole be successful in accomplishing these results. The fourth question, if a parent or community member comes to me, first thing is to listen and understand the issue. Second, to point the person with the issue to the appropriate responsible district employee. Third, to follow up on the issue being resolved, addressed, or responded to. And fourth, learn from the issue to drive future improvement in the district. I'm Scott Ferguson. I'm running for the Canajoharie School District school board seat, and I ask for your support by voting for me on May 17th. Thank you for coming tonight.
Good evening. My name is Mary Ellen Driscoll, and you see here is a picture of my family. My husband, Ken Frustorfer, my son, Xavier, and my daughter, Alice. We own a farm in Palatine Bridge. I believe I'm the only candidate here with children in the elementary school, and I also believe I add a much-needed perspective to the board because of this. So Pat, that should be rolling some text. All right. They just had our names, so it's okay. I was a little worried it was going to be wonky because of what was going on with Leah. All right, well, I'll just keep going. So I've lived in the district for 17 years. And like I mentioned, we own a vegetable farm known as Freeburg Farm. I manage the business side of the farm, like finance, human resources, marketing, a lot of government compliance. I also have many years' experience in journalism, working as a news reporter, book editor, and writer and editor for 2 national magazines. I just started also doing part-time research for a Harvard Business School professor who specializes in the subject of organizational behavior, such as what motivates or demotivates people, a subject which I'm particularly interested in when it comes to children, and how organizational culture affects productivity and morale. There's no way to click it back. Okay. So sorry, that I guess just gave the background of how I've been involved over the years in the district, and the garden's pretty near and dear to my heart, but it's been a particular privilege this past year to be an interim school board member. I was appointed by the board when Brad Morrison resigned. All right, so let's go try and find a picture that says inspiration. I can also load this online if somebody wants to see it. Okay, so I think that understanding of where a person comes from can help to explain who a person is and what inspires them. So I'm going to go back to who my parents are. My dad worked almost all his life in the newsroom at the Boston Globe. He retired as editor-in-chief. And if any of you have seen the movie, the Spotlight movie, he helped to create the investigative reporting team that's featured in that movie. He helped win a number of Pulitzer Prizes and was ultimately the member of a Pulitzer Board, the Pulitzer Board. And he was a big deal where we lived, but he was also incredibly down to earth. My mom raised me and my 3 sisters and dedicated her time to youth. She had an incredible heart, very giving, and when she passed away this fall, the board offered to donate money in her memory, and I asked that they give it to the youth center because that's just the kind of place she believed in. So I'm explaining this because I'm pretty much a hybrid of my parents, and I think that makes me a strong participant of the board. Because of that journalistic legacy, I tend to gather the facts and be objective. And undoubtedly, the degree to which I care about the children in our community, I get from my mom. The slides are totally messed up, so. And I've also always been deeply interested in education. When I went to college, I went to Stanford University. I took a lot of seminars in international comparative education. Right now, I'm working on a master's in management at Harvard University Extension School, and that's mainly an online program. I'm impressed how higher education is really different from 20 years ago. The kind of collaborative, problem-based learning that we are introducing in our classrooms here in this district is pervasive at the university level and in the modern-day workplace. So that's enough about me. I was going to jump to the fourth question about what happens if a parent approaches you with an issue. With only a year under my belt, I still feel like this is a tricky one. I feel like it's my duty to facilitate when a parent seeks my help or input. At the same time, the role of the school board is to set policy and to provide direction to the superintendent, not to micromanage the schools. And there's something that probably most of you in the room have heard of called chain of command. This is a common practice in schools everywhere. We don't force this just willy-nilly. This is common. And it's essentially a ladder. You bring your issue to the person who's on the lowest rung, most relevant to the issue at hand. That doesn't mean that if a parent approaches me, I won't listen and I won't look into the concern for them. But I'll also encourage them to talk to the appropriate person within the district, since I think it's really important that we communicate directly with one another. Stacy's made me talk to a teacher that I was really worried I'd offend her, and I thought hard about how I'd present it to the teacher, and it was a pretty powerful experience, and she appreciated it, and I learned about some things going on in the classroom that were quite serious, and then was able to go on and advocate for that teacher. So I know it can be intimidating to take an issue to a teacher or a principal or your supervisor, but I strongly believe, and that's what this was about, that the best solutions come when you approach issues with a positive mindset, a willingness to be part of the solution, and a willingness to understand the goals or position of others. So, is that just totally frozen? I did something called a SWOT analysis to answer that question about what do I see as the opportunities and challenges in our district. I think the strengths are fairly evident. We have amazing teachers. We have a really solid administrative team. They work long hours. And we have had a history here of fiscal prudence. So, our neighbor Fort Plain has really struggled because they haven't. And then our weaknesses, I think, are fairly somewhat evident. That first one we just spent the last hour talking about, inadequate state funding and lack of tax base. We don't have great parent engagement. Where did that go? So, and I don't, for whatever reason, I've advocated for involving parents in committees and making them welcome in the school, and I'd continue to do that. I think it's really important we try and keep bringing people in. Lastly, I think we struggle with change fatigue. Like so many schools, there's been a number of internal and external influences that have made for some difficult transitions. You can change that, Pat. Like the same year Beechnut closed, our district had to lay off 7 staff because of budgetary constraints, and then our superintendent, who'd been here for 17 years, retired. Our new superintendent walked into a perfect storm. We had race to the top, Common Core, high-stakes testing, and mandated teacher performance evaluations, or also called APPR. So right now, Stacy is our most senior administrator. And she used to just be the new kid on the block. Meantime, I think you could try and switch. No? All right. Change can be good, and there's still a lot of new exciting things going on in our district. We expect to save $67,000 next year in energy costs with our new solar system that's going in. Our new high school counselors met with every student in the high school to plan their schedule next year, and we're hoping that's going to reduce the number of study hall students have. And there's a proposed roster of new courses like geography, sports writing and literature, debate, and I believe Patty Crime's popular courses being offered as well, again. So there are a lot of other great opportunities happening in the school and beyond, and I had a list. Oh, there's one there. Oh. I think it's okay. So last I was going to go to threats. This is going to be a little tough, okay? And it's not going to show up here. And I don't even know what word I used for it, but I'm going to use the word discord. So that would be the first threat. And then while I think it's not only okay to disagree with each other, I think it's really constructive. But what's destructive is when there's a spirit of malice or retaliation that's going on in our district right now. It's pretty common to school districts, but the climate of conflict here is getting worse. And it really concerns me. Which would lead me to my next concern or threat. I guess I'd call it a challenge, and that's social media. Social media has been feeding some of these issues with the instant and widespread information that often is just not correct. I had parents show me some of the texts going on at our last board meeting. I was just shocked, and really disappointed in what people said and the misinformation that got spread. And the thing with social media is once it's out there immediately and there's no taking it back. And it's viral. I don't see how that helps us. And so, I've thought a lot about it, and while the board can't control what's discussed on Facebook, in Facebook communities, I really strongly encourage that we do a better job going forward of communicating what's going on. Because being on the board for the last year, I've been privy to a lot of information about what's going on, and it's made me really excited about our school district. Before, I don't know, I wasn't so sure, I was a little concerned, and I really hope we can do a better job at that, because there's a lot of good people working hard and a lot happening, positive things. The last threat would be poverty. I had charts, not here. This is a serious problem in our district, and it's only gone up. I think when Stacy arrived, our elementary school had a 42% free and reduced lunch rate. We're now at 58%. This affects everybody. Our school district's been proactive in the last 2 years, which is why maybe it seems like the board is fixated on this issue. But, there's been programming and training to provide the tools to the staff so that they're better equipped to handle the issues that are going on with this trend in our community. So some of the risks that affect children in poverty are, and I'm probably speaking to the choir, but emotional and social challenges, acute and chronic stress, cognitive lags, and health and safety issues. As a parent, I've seen firsthand how these effects can stress a teacher and an entire classroom. So even if, and I know nobody out there is like that, all you care about is your own child. You have to care about the issue of poverty because if left ignored, then everyone suffers, especially the teachers and the students in the classroom. And I've witnessed this firsthand with having a second grader was in class with a student in crisis. And almost on a daily basis, they were being evacuated from the classroom. I mean, who would think? Second grade. I really believe this is a new and challenging reality in our district, and we're working to try and provide our staff with the tools to be better equipped to handle it. So lastly, my last threat, which is not listed there, oh no, that was it, poverty. Lastly, there's the question number 4, which outputs matter to me? And I'd say that they're those that stem from objectives. Our district already has some high-reaching goals that in terms of quality and standards, such as increasing graduation rates and decreasing failure rates. We have something called a vision development process going on, and actually I didn't bring that up. That's in our opportunities. This is just starting, and it's a process in which we're going to find out what do we want to be, what matters, how do we envision this district. It's really, I think, an important thing to discuss and for everyone to be involved in. And I see that as a main objective, as being on the board.
My name is Jennifer Field, and as you know, I'm running for one of the vacant board seats on the Canajoharie Board of Education. I want to give you some information on my background and why I want to serve our community on the Board of Education. My husband and I moved to this area 20 years ago this very year. We moved here because my husband was hired as the new band director for the Canajoharie Central School System. To be honest, we had never heard of the town or even spent any time in the area. Both of us were educated at SUNY Potsdam for our undergrad degrees, and both of us grew up downstate. Moving to this area, to be quite frank, was a bit of a culture shock for us. Since we needed to complete our master's degrees, we picked up a place halfway between Canajoharie and Albany, which was Amsterdam, and found an apartment 20 years ago. For the next year, I found a job at Centro Civico in Amsterdam, which is a nonprofit agency which works with the public in a variety of ways. I was hired as the Service Learning Director and a Liberty Partnership Program Counselor. This meant that I worked with at-risk youth, their families, and also pushed into the schools to conduct after-school programs for these students. I really wanted to be teaching in the schools as I received my BA from Potsdam with a double major of elementary education and English writing. Unfortunately, the next year a job opened up in the Albany City Schools. I was hired as one of 7 enrichment teachers who pushed into classrooms in 3 of the elementary schools there. There was a lot of poverty. I was hired, at the end of June of '98, we learned that this program was being cut and that the enrichment teachers would be absorbed into the district, being placed in a variety of openings at their certification levels. However, that summer, a phone call came from Sharon Springs Central School via Jenny Nyahe, who was an elementary principal here, who recommended me, offering me an interview for one of their positions. I was then hired as a 5th grade teacher in September 1998, thus leaving the Albany City Schools. I have been in Sharon Springs ever since. In 2003, we, our family, decided that Canajoharie was really the place where we wanted to raise our family. It's a fantastic school system with excellence in academics, many choices for a variety of classes, a huge supporter of the arts, many choices for a variety of athletic teams, and it really seemed like the perfect community to raise our children in. And I'm so thankful that we did that because I know so many of you in this room because of it. Since taking the teaching position in Sharon Springs, I have taught 5th grade and 4th grade at the elementary level, and then in 2006, I decided to pursue an additional teaching certification in the area of English language arts. I've been teaching middle school and high school English since 2008. In addition to my dual certification, I also have been the advisor for the yearbook, the Students Against Destructive Decisions, have organized and run the school spelling bees, have been the Odyssey of the Mind coordinator, and have been a class advisor. I've also coached softball and Sharon Springs, and even coached modified volleyball here in Canajoharie for 5 years before resigning my position when my daughter moved up to the JV team so I would not miss out on valuable parenting time. My entire life I have spent in education. As everyone here, I started as a student. Then I became a teacher and taught elementary school. Then I taught middle and high school English, and I have advised student activities and coached many teams. Being involved in education is what I do and is what we do as a family. We are always supporting class functions and fundraisers and events at the school. With my own children, I have also been involved in Canajoharie activities such as Girl Scouts and Boy Scouts, Odyssey of the Mind teams, ASO soccer, Little League, and I've even done some photography. I've sat in on the community study groups, such as the Future Options Study and the Communication Survey. I have chaperoned many trips, helped fundraisers by working them and/or financially supporting the organizations, not just of the school, but of many of the groups within our own community. I tell you all this as I want the community to know that I understand the educational system. As an elementary teacher, a secondary teacher, a coach, an advisor, a parent, and as a taxpayer. I think I am qualified to serve on the Board of Education and will give a voice which I feel is definitely needed. Someone who understands the trials and tribulations of the day-to-day running of the school, not only from a parent's perspective, a teacher's perspective, and a student's perspective. I do not say this lightly, as this truly is my life, and I really am interested in this position. There are some who will say, well, what makes you more qualified than someone else? Well, what makes anyone more qualified to do any job? If you compare it to other jobs, for example, we've all been patients at one point in our lives, just like we have been students. But I have never worked as a doctor or a nurse. However, I can say my father's a nurse. I've talked to him. I've heard his stories about working in the OR and ER. Does this mean I'm qualified to supervise in the OR? Just because I've been a patient or I've heard the stories? No. I've also served on a jury before. My grandfather was a New York State trooper. I have friends who were or still are in law enforcement. Does this mean I'm qualified to oversee the applicants who apply for these positions? No. I make these comparisons because although everyone who is a taxpayer and/or resides within the district that is over 18 may be technically qualified for the position, it does not mean that a person is qualified to understand the day-to-day issues within a classroom that the board oversees. I feel that with the variety of roles that I have undertaken in the past and continue to perform in my current professional position, I do understand the pros and cons to the Common Core, to the new evaluation systems, and the APPI. I am not going to pretend to be an end-all, be-all information, having the information for everything. However, I truly feel that with my BA in Elementary Ed and English Writing, my master's degree in teacher education from the College of St. Rose, my extensive teaching experience at all levels, and the fact that I am a parent and a taxpayer in this district, I am qualified to perform the duties of a school board member in Canajoharie. Since making the decision to run for the school board, I have been doing some reading. According to the school law books, and I quote, "School boards are responsible for the admission, instruction, discipline, grading, and as appropriate, classification of students attending the public schools in their district, for the employment, and management of necessary professional and support staff, and for purchasing, leasing, maintaining, and insuring school buildings, properties, equipment, and supplies. They also have the authority and duty to adopt whatever policies, rules, and bylaws they deem will best meet the statutory responsibilities and secure the best educational results for the students in their charge, including the rules and regulations concerning the order and discipline of the schools. Unquote. I am ready to do my homework. I am ready to serve our community in this capacity. I am ready to become an ambassador to creating a positive change in the climate of our schools. I am a firm believer in communication. I am a firm believer in listening. If someone in the community, whether it be a taxpayer, a parent, a student, a teacher, or an administrator, has a problem or a conflict, then there has to be a light at the end of the tunnel. I am enough of a realist to know that not all people will be satisfied with resolutions to these conflicts, but I do know that inquiries need to be made and solutions looked into and compromises created. I believe that I am honorable and truthful. I have nothing to hide. What you see is what you get. I am direct and forthcoming and will speak my mind, especially when I see an injustice. The Canajoharie Central School District is fortunate to have such wonderful, dedicated professionals. One of the challenges that it faces over the next few years is in keeping our population within the district. Last year, a study was done on our future options. In it, it was stated that our district was facing a declining enrollment. In fact, for this year, it was predicted that we would only have 930 students, K through 12. Fortunately enough, we have surpassed that. We have, as Ms. Van Heusen said earlier, indeed 960. This tells me that our district has hope. This tells me that people want their children to attend Canajoharie. Over the past year, I've seen increased attendance at our board meetings. This is also extremely positive. This means that people want their voices heard. This means that people want the best education that is fair to all students. This means that people care about the students and the teachers within the district and want to do everything possible to make it the best that it can possibly be. I believe that in order to meet the needs of our population, the board and the administration need to listen to the needs and wants of the parents and students of our district so we can keep our students here, broaden our programming, and improve the climate for our students and teachers. We also need to meet the technological challenges of the 21st century and allow our students and teachers the ability to communicate more freely. With an improved climate and increased communication between students, teachers, parents, administrators, and board members, we will be able to meet the needs of all students in a fashion that meets the standards and makes the Canajoharie Central School District the top choice for families to send their children to. I believe that if elected to the school board, the community will see me as approachable, professional, and as someone who can give positive advice to those in the community who seek it. To conclude, I must say that it is fantastic to see so many people running for the vacant seats on the Board of Education. People who are willing to volunteer their time to serve the community in a fashion that will make the lives of the youth in our district better. I have lived in Canajoharie for 13 years, and I have never seen 5 names on the ballot before. Obviously, we all must feel a change is needed to strengthen the school and our community. It is my hope that each of us who's running is running for the same reasons, to improve the quality of education and programming while being fiscally responsible to our taxpayers. Come May 17th, I encourage everyone to vote for the candidates that you feel will best represent our students, as they are our future. Thank you.
Hi, my name's Peter Rebocus, and I'm running for the school board. And I don't have slides, or I don't have long speeches. All I have is my education is I was educated in Massachusetts. I graduated high school in 1977 from Oxford High School. I went to education until 1981 at Sylvania Technical School. I got a degree. Now I moved up here in 1986. We have a dairy farm. I do logging. I've never had a kid in school in this district. My parents have passed away. I've paid taxes my whole life in this district. I could be a taxpayer. I'm not a tax taker, like a school teacher. That's the only reason I'm running. I'm not a speech writer. But I'm just trying to eke out a living, and I figured I was going to try to lower the school taxes if you elected me. Because like I say, I have no kids in school. So, if somebody come to me and said something's not right in the school for a teacher, it's not like my kid's going to get, retribution for in case they come and, the teachers will, pick on them and that. So, that's just the way I am. I'm just a poor dairy farmer. So, that's the only reason I'm running. So I don't have any long speeches. And that's about all I have to say.